It's motorsport stripped to the core. Competition down to earth and flying high. It is rally. This is the East Coast Bull Bars Australian Rally Championship. It's the fifth round of competition for the ARC, coming to you from Coffs Harbour on the New South Wales mid-north coast. This is a special round because the Coffs Coast is also hosting the 10th round of the World Rally Championship, Coates Hire Rally Australia. While rally teams from around the globe would converge on Coffs, most slipped in through the New South Wales capital. Considered one of the most beautiful harbours in the world, WRC drivers got to see it from the best seat in the house atop of the Sydney Harbour Bridge.
It's always very spectacular to see rally, so I hope many of the Australian people will come to us on Coffs Harbour and enjoy the rally.
Coates Hire Rally Australia attracted more than 100 entries across several categories. The country's best drivers lined up with the WRC to showcase New South Wales and rallying in Australia. In this program, we'll see the largest field of classics assembled for an ARC event and those dynamic four-wheel drives from an era that changed the face of international rallying, Group B. We'll experience the ding-dong battle amongst a dozen or more all-wheel drives in the East Coast Bull Bars four-wheel drive National Series. Plus, of course, we'll feature the Pettis Power Stage out in the hinterland forest. There's plenty at stake, with 5 championship bonus points on offer before their event officially even begins. By the end of the last round, Eli Evans had everyone on notice that his Honda Jazz was the force to be reckoned with. He missed the power stage, but went on to dominate the rally. Scott Petter was fast in the power stage qualifier, but the Swiss Renault Sport was edged back to third. He took it right up to the Honda, and it looked like we would go down to the wire. But something had to give, and it did.
Don't cut.
His stablemate Tom Wilde raced on to grab second for the weekend after jagging a brilliant start, winning the Pettis Power Stage. Mark Petter recorded fourth for the weekend, gathering valuable manufacturer points for Honda. The up-and-down season for Brendan Reeves continued, second in the Pettis Power Stage, but a mechanical failure in leg 2 robbed the Rally School Mazda of a weekend podium. Gap only gets bigger between first and second on the championship ladder. Can the wild child from the West make an impression on the top 2 rides this round? And will Brendo have it his way and bump Mark Petter to the bottom of the top 5? Watch this space. It's an ideal setting for the Coates Hire Rally Australia. The Coffs Harbour region is the perfect place to show off New South Wales.
Now you can really feel the excitement in the air because Coffs Harbour is hosting the 5th round of the Australian Rally Championship, which is run in conjunction with the 10th round of the World Rally Championship. So not only do we have Australia's best here, but also the rest of the world. Over the weekend they'll be fighting it out on stages north, west and south of here, through forestry stages and some spectacular Shire roads. But before the main ARC event gets underway, there are 5 bonus points up for grabs in the all-important Pettis Power Stage.
As usual, every competitor gets 2 runs over the power stage to see who are the fastest qualifiers. The fastest 5 then line up for a one-off shot at grabbing the bonus points. 5 for first, 3 for second, and 1 point for third. On paper, this stage looks straightforward. A fast downhill start into a right-hander and a long straight, interrupted with the Destination New South Wales split. The end of that same straight leads to another right-hander before skirting the edge of the forest and on past the Kumo split, marking the start of the 3rd sector. The run to the finish is rough and includes a couple of jumps thrown in for good measure. In all, 2.8 kilometres in an area known as Wedding Bells. Dean Herridge is at the finish with Dunco.
Our expert commentator Ross Duncan, an East Coast Bull Bars four-wheel drive, and you've gone through the Pettis Power Stage again. How is this one here in Coffs Harbour?
Dino, every power stage this year has been different, and this is no exception. You know, you start off a big downhill run into a right-hander, which tightens up just towards the end. Then there's about a kilometre straight. Now, the organisers have said, we'll just make this a bit more difficult, so they put a chicane on a crest, and it's very, very tight to get past. The next drama they're going to have is a turn right up the hill. It's off camber. If you make it there, the road becomes more flowing and easy to read, but towards the end there's a few traps. There's a little jump just before a tight right-hander, so you can't be in the air too long because you need those front wheels to turn to get round the corner.
It is dry, it is very dusty. You cannot fall off line, can you?
You can't. And of course, you know, the road is starting to cut up a bit. There's a few bull dust holes, and if you hit those, of course, you tear the wheel out of your hand, so you've got to be full concentration for this stage, as all Pettis Power stages are.
So far, we've done it to them again. We've already seen some great action. It's back to you, Rusty, to recap the qualifying.
Thank you, guys. It was the largest field of qualifiers this year. 21 cars in all lined up to try their hand. Michael Bowden was an early casualty when a drive shaft broke in the Warhope Motors Polo, and he and Helen Cheers were forced into early retirement. Justin Dowell and Mick Patton both had clear runs in similar VW Polos, but neither could make the cut to 5. But Patton's Repco entry was the quicker of the two. Nick Box was destined for an early exit after colliding with a New South Wales-sponsored chicane. No damage, fortunately, even to the freewheeling camera that had a wild ride. His stablemate, newcomer to the ARC outright category, Sean Keating, was out as 12th fastest in the earlier model Nissan. One place in front of another rookie, Henry Knott, in the brand new BMW 130i. Junior Guy Tyler missed the corner after that jump Dunco warned of in Qual 1 and wasn't fast enough second time. Steve McKenzie was consistent in his new Peugeot 207, 8th both runs just behind Mark Pedder in the Honda Jazz. Glenn Raymond might have snuck into the juniors on age, but he couldn't sneak into the top 5, missing the cut by just 1 place in his Mazda RX-7. Brendan Reeves was 3rd fastest on the first pass, but next run dropped 2 spots, all done and dusted, taking the bottom slot of the Pettis Power Stage. And jumping Jack Monkhouse was on a charge. Nissan Silvia 4th fastest, but it counted most. Last round victor Tom Wilde settled for 3rd, leaving the top 2 places for Evans and Pedder. Scott Pedder had a big dip in the second pass, securing P1 for the Swiss Renault. Eli Evans missed the mark by 0.2 of a second and found himself in the position of chasing rather than being chased. So Brendan Reeves, Jack Monkhouse, Tom Wilde, Eli Evans and Scott Pedder are about to face off for 5 extra championship points on offer in the Pettis Power Stage. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back to the hinterland around Coffs Harbour on the New South Wales mid-north coast. Things will soon heat up in the Coates Hire Rally Australia, but for the teams in the East Coast Bull Bars Australian Rally Championship, it's already started with the Pettis Power Stage. Our wildcard entry is junior competitor Steve McKenzie in the new model Peugeot 207, and while he wasn't fastest, he was consistent. He and Ben Searcy are on the start line with Dean Herridge.
Our wildcard entry for the Pettis Power Stage here, and in a different car for this round. Steve McKenzie, Ben Searcy, a bit of a change for you guys.
Yeah, the car's quite nice. A little bit quicker than the Fiesta. We're not really in it to win it here, but it's good to get a few more Ks under our belts before the rally starts.
You've been doing a fantastic job so far this season, mate, and a great opportunity for you in this stage. Good luck and go and get them.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dean. Great addition to the series, this car, and a very experienced co-driver in Ben Searcy alongside him. Away we go.
Well, Rusty, this is a long downhill run, 150, 160 kilometres an hour before they go into the right-hander, which actually tightens.
7 right, long, keep tight. 200.
This is where it is, and now there's a big long straight up to that chicane I was talking about, and can they get through there nice and tidy because it is tight.
Heading for that destination New South Wales split.
Oh! Oh! How about that? Up close and personal to the sponsor.
Watch your temps now. 300, turn 5 right on.
Looks
crest.
pretty miffed with himself, understandably. Great opportunity for him coming in as the wild card entry.
Hopefully there's no damage to the front. This is the corner I was talking about as well. If they keep him tidy, they don't go into the off camber, and he's got through there nicely.
50, 9 left.
This is good. He's had a moment and seems to have regathered here, Ross, just in terms of, you've got to get back on the job straight away, don't you?
Rusty, you certainly do, and he is on the business here because he's coming up to the second split time.
9 right long over crest. Kick
Very
tight.
shortly up to the Kumo split time. How's he going there? Yeah, 1:19.
That'll give us a reference point in the coming runs, obviously. And the bottom left of your screen here, the radar, the ECB radar. We'll keep an eye on top speed, 148 k's an hour. That's pretty handy from the 207.
Oh, I tell you what, bit untidy there. Nearly got the coach sign around. There's that stump on the right-hand side through the timing marker. Now.
He hit that pretty square, so I think it shouldn't have done anything.
So mixed emotions for him, recovering reasonably well. Let's hear from him now.
Very tough. Made a bit of mistake in the chicane there and went straight through it. Not quite happy with the balance of the brakes at the moment, so we'll try and sort something out there before the rally starts.
Bit of a tough test, wasn't it, to come in with a new car and be thrown into the deep end?
It is, and it's a very quick stage too, so I'm happy with our time this morning. Hopefully we can continue to improve throughout the rally.
I think on balance he should be. This sadly is what brought the run undone.
Visit New South Wales, couldn't get any plainer.
As Ben Searcy said though, to some degree the positive was that he hit it square on. The thing that stood out for me was he was able to regather, get that adrenaline under control, and look at that, that's fantastic.
It certainly was. Lifted the inside front wheel there, managed to get back nice and straight once again.
No points for the wild card. Now the competition begins. Back to Dean Herridge at the start line.
Fifth fastest qualifier, Brendan Reid's round and smile. This is the furthest back we've seen you after qualifying. A bit under pressure here.
Yeah, that's right. I need to try a bit harder, Dino. This is a really fast stage, takes a lot of commitment, but I'm sure we'll have the best run we can.
You have won a power stage here before. This one, you've always said to me, you're going for the points, you need it for the championship. You'll have the eyes on for this one, I reckon.
Yeah, that's right. The eyes are on. The car feels good. The boys have put in all the hours since Queensland, so we need to try to reward them this event. So we'll see how we go.
Very mild manner, but you can see the intensity in the eyes, guys.
You sure can, Dean, and he is match fit at the moment. In fact, both of them are, for that matter, spending time in the North American Rally Championship when they're not competing here in Australia, hanging out with Ken Block, if you will. Away we go. Great job.
Plenty of wheel spin off the start line as they come down. As it sort of sweeps the right, it'll start to tighten up. Where he is right there is where it's tight.
Rally School team have done a mega job with this car when you consider, a lot of people look on with envy in the service park, don't they? They think it's a very good package indeed.
It certainly is for an Australian-produced motor car or prepared motor car. They've done a fantastic job. He's got through there nicely.
And significant gain there. Remember, Mackenzie had that incident.
In wide opens up.
Perfect there and tight on the exit. Oh, he's gone over a little bit there. That's that off-camber area I was talking about.
Then flat 9 left play. Then
it starts to get fast up here. And now there's a tricky left-hander he's going to come into.
left narrows, opens wide fast. 120 brats.
Oh, I tell you what, he's in there. Oh, very tight.
Over 100.
Massively up at the second split, the Kumo split. And we'll take a look at that radar as well. 148 k's an hour at the ECB radar. Matches it.
Now this is the jump.
Oh, beautiful.
5 right opens up over crest. Flying finish, flat 9.
Nice and tight through there.
It's an aggressive run, but a great run, as Ross points out, for Brendan Reeves. 133.2.
Yep.
I think it's probably not enough. It's closer than we were before. On the long straight into the chicane, the rear's just locked. The car's cooled down a lot, so then I had to dial some front brake back into it. We got about a 133.1, so a bit slower than Scott's earlier run, but pretty happy. The car feels good for a long event, so I think the boys have prepared the car well and can't wait to get out there and do 350 Ks this weekend.
As we go to the replay, how in tune with the car is he? Immediately knew at the finish, too much rear brake, he said.
Too much, yep. And look at that car, leapt into the air, pulls it back nicely and comes around there nice and tight through that right-hander to the finishing line.
Spectacular to watch for Brendan Reeves. Can Jack Monkhouse go faster? We'll find out in just a few moments. Our chopper shot at the chicane in the Pettis Power Stage shows a spectator in Michael Bowden. What a shame he's not taking part. Our next competitor on the start line, and he's mindful of this chicane, Jack Monkhouse. He's with Dean.
The spectacular Jack Monkhouse here with Ben Atkinson alongside. You always look forward to these power stages. You were just a bit disappointed as a chicane there. You thought this thing on top speed could get the guys on the front wheel drives.
Yeah, we did recce yesterday. It was a flat straight there, and we did this stage in the rally last year, and the car's doing well over 200 k an hour airborne. So a bit disappointed with the chicane, but that's all right. We'll make it up on the rest of the corners.
You're still amongst it though, aren't you? I'm pretty impressed with the run through here. Very slippery conditions, which wouldn't help you if you step off line.
No, it's hard to be patient on the throttle and not get too excited and to hold it flat because it will run off the road. So it's a bit of a calculated drive, and tomorrow's a very big day.
Brendo's gone a couple quicker as well, so he's thrown down the gauntlet, mate. Good luck.
No pressure, eh? Sweet.
Patient on the throttle. How about that?
5,
Set to go.
4, 3, 2, 1, go. 300, 9.
Car sits down nicely, gets plenty of traction. Over there on the dashboard, you can see what gear he's in. He was into fourth very quickly.
Over crest, don't.
Co-driver voice you're listening to is Ben Atkinson. His brother Chris, of course, has competed at WRC level, is testing for the Hyundai team at the moment. This is a good combo. Interesting to hear Jack before, 200 k's an hour airborne. This is one heck of a ride in the Nissan.
This is the first split time, destination New South Wales.
He's up,
Yep.
good job.
Turn 6 right, don't.
He might move out onto that off-cambered corner, being rear-wheel drive. Let's see how he goes here as he comes up.
These are the kind of roads that suit the South Aussie too, aren't they? He revels in these kind of conditions. Look at the Nissan.
Beautiful.
Monkhouse is flying at the moment as he tries to wrestle the lead of the Pettis Power Stage. Coming to you from the Coffs Coast.
Over crest, 100.
Back into the fast part of the circuit now, up into this left-hander.
9 left tightens, 180. Crest.
Oh, I tell you what, he's out wide. I tell you what, he's lucky to pull that back.
But it's a good gain. It's a good gain at the Kumho split. Look at that. Relative to Brendan Reeves, smashes it. 2 seconds and 157 k's an hour at the ECB radar. He is on it, Jack Monkhouse.
He is on fire. Let's see what he comes around here, because not too wide. He's got it. What a great
Nails
time.
it. Lost a little bit of time in that last sector compared to the Kumho split, but good job.
Just ran wide on that 9A. Just yeah, too much slide. I couldn't catch it. It's all right. Not bad.
Not bad. I think Reeves knows immediately the result. Yep, checking the times there. Monkhouse is our new power stage leader.
I think there's a bit of orange paint on my car from the chicane, but it's disappointing. But we had a good run, and on a fast 9 left, I had a big slide and had to gather it up and lost a bit of time. So that's probably hurt me, but the rest of the stage was good and she was fast.
Let's take a look at that on the replay. In fact, it is spectacular. He's great in these kind of conditions. He just revels, as I said before.
This is the corner. You can see him just step out there and just rush the scenery.
So it's a change. He's hogging the horn. Out goes Brendan Reeves
Get out
in the
the road.
Mazda 2. Jack Monkhouse holds the position, top of the Pettis Power Stage board. Dean?
The winners of the Pettis Power Stage, of course, in Queensland, Tom Wilde and Bill Hayes on the Renault. Very different stage this time around though, Tom.
Yeah, it's a different stage this one. It really rewards the guys that commit hard. So, you know, we're getting there, so I'm pretty confident we can try and get 2 from 2.
Saying commitment, I mean, you qualified third. You're right amongst it in here.
Yeah, we're not far from the guys in front. There's only a second or so in it. So, and I reckon there's a couple there where we can get back to.
You got a rear-wheel drive car to beat, mate. Jack just set the best time, 32.1. So it's all to play for.
Yeah, that's a really good time actually from Jack. So that's pretty close where we got in our qualifier. So,
all right, good luck.
There.
Cheers. Getting very close to the top, guys.
Dean sure is. Same cool, calm demeanour from the West Aussie. Big change for him though, Ross. As he sets off, he knows how to win a power stage now. That's got to be worth something to him.
It certainly does, and of course he's well known as the wild man from the West.
Long, right, 3 in. 200.
As they come out of that, now the all-important chicane coming up. Let's see how he tackles that.
He just looks fluid, doesn't he, at this point? Heading for the destination, New South Wales. Oh, he's clipped it! Clipped it!
Tell you what, they're lucky they're not full of water. I'll give you the tip.
He's down half a second here, so it is recoverable. Let's see what he can do.
Crest Lake opens. 50. Medium right, 2+.
He's on fire there. The car is on song.
And he looks nicely dialed into the power stage too, doesn't he? The execution's good.
Yep.
And right one into left 3+. Don't cut. 120.
That's beautiful. Nice work as we head to the Kumo split. Has he been able to recover the time? No. It's now out to more than a second to Jack Monkhouse, who leads the Pettis power stage.
154 kilometres an hour.
Good speed from the Renault Sport entry. Here we go.
Oh! Gee, well, he just held that as he comes up to the finishing line.
Missed that right for? No, I think it was a bit. Yeah, that cost us a bit, I reckon. 32.9 I got, so I think Jack's done us.
I wonder what he thinks of that.
A couple of small errors in there, so we just clipped the chicane coming through on the entry there as well, so just a little bit untidy, so I don't think we'll have what it takes today.
So the last round winner is bundled out early here as we take a look at the replay.
Ooh, no damage to the front.
He was down, though, by half a second at that point. It was an aggressive attempt to recover the time, though, wasn't it?
It certainly was. A little bit of overdriving there, but came through nicely.
Monkhouse holds the position, but Petter and Evans are still to come. Don't go away.
High five, Archie. 2 more to go.
Welcome back, everybody. You're watching the Pettis Power Stage here in the forest region of Coffs Coast. Jack Monkhouse currently holds the top spot, but Eli Evans is waiting in the wings.
Not many people beating Eli this year. It's it'll be tough, but see what happens. It's a long rally.
Our championship leaders at the moment, obviously in the Honda, Eli Evans and Glenn Weston. You've won a couple of these, but a bit of pressure on this time.
Yeah, it's pretty close. I think it's 0.2 of a second between Scott and I, and we both need the points. Scott needs to choose some points back on us, and we need to extend our lead and try and be comfortable for the last round. So, you know, this is one of the fastest stages. We go off the start line. I'm close to 170 by the time we get to the first corner. So we just hang on and we'll just turn in and see what happens.
This is the 5th Pettis Power Stage. Does it get any easier, or is the intensity just like no other?
I was pretty calm until I started talking to you, and you've pumped me up pretty hard now, and the blood's, you know, the heart's pumping pretty large. So I'm trying to concentrate on the road. I'm trying not to get distracted by you.
All right, sorry, mate. My last thing will be you've got to beat Jack Monkhouse, mate. He's the quickest so far. A second clear of both Reeves and Wild, so plenty to play for, mate.
Yeah, that's a good run by Jack. So, you know, I take my hat off to him. He's in a rear-wheel drive car, and I think front-wheel drive car is hard to drive fast. I can't imagine what a rear-wheel drive car is. So he's a great driver. So, you know, he could win it, or he could be third. So we'll see.
Bit of a nervous Eli Evans there, I reckon, on the start line.
5, 4,
Very different set of circumstances. More often than not, he's been the pace setter in qualifying for the power stage.
Well, he's certainly thrown out the challenge. And, you know, really, Eli is the man to beat. He's got the points on the board.
Fast right 7 long for 70.
It's on the number as he goes past.
Break before crest, a right entry, very tight chicane.
Glenn Weston calling the calls. Eyes on for our championship leader, who could wrap it up this weekend. He's down, though. He's down at the first split.
But tidy through the chicane.
Care, turn immediate fast right 5 on crest.
To the right-hander. High speed.
100.
Oh yeah, sets it up beautifully. Nice and wide on the entry and tight on the exit. Perfect. This is going to be
Then
fast.
short left 9 over slight crest. Short right 9. Bar short left 7 line. 120.
Great combo. And you saw Glenn Weston just look up briefly before just to make sure he was absolutely right on the notes. Here we go. Kumo split and he's up. Recovers it beautifully. A second. Finds a second in the middle of this stage. Let's have a look here.
153.
Short left 7. Then bump. Then
Very
bar
nice.
side 4.
Nice and tight in there. Let's see the last corner, how tight he is there. Absolutely perfect.
Good job. 130.7.
You know, on one of those 9s at the end, I wasn't sure if you said it was a 9 or the 5.
And the run just got better as he went on. Super stuff.
Look pretty close on the watch. I think he might be knocking me out again. Again. Will you please do me a favour and just not beat me for once? Just once? No. What do you get on yours? No. 130.7.
What time did you do? 32. The car was on the edge. Yeah, 30.7 now, it's been confirmed, so 2 seconds faster than our last run. So, look, we're happy. More importantly, the car feels fantastic, so I'm be really confident going into tomorrow's forest stages.
A little quiver in his voice. It looked settled and clean, but he was on the limit in this, wasn't he?
He certainly was, and every corner you can see he's clipped it nicely. He was the fastest car through, the fastest lines. That's why he is so good.
And smashes the time as well. So a near perfect run for Eli Evans. That time will be hard to beat. Disappointed Monkhouse moves out the way. We have a new man at the top of the leaderboard. Dean?
Scott Petter, Dale Mosket in the Renault. I don't reckon there's two guys that want this more than you two, this Petter Power Stage.
Yeah, it's we've been winless so far this year, and obviously a few heat wins there. But yeah, we've done some good development with the car before this event and had a good test and good few times this morning. So there's a couple of critical corners in here that you've got to get right to make a good time.
First time you qualified sort of with the fastest time going into the final as well.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it did feel good, the run. As I said, the car's really good, so it's all up to me now.
Now, I know you know everyone else's times. You don't know Eli's. He's done a bolter, mate. He's 1.4 in front of Jack Monkhouse, so he has set the pace here.
Yeah, look, it's going to be hard. You know, this is a good horsepower race, and Honda's got good power. So, mate, all we can do is do our best and see where it is at the end.
Scott's return to the sport, we should say, has just been getting better with every event, and he is determined to try and knock Eli Evans off. So now the Dean Herridge has planted that seed in his head.
This will be a big one. Hold on to your hats because he's going to be trying. Oh, yeah, he's going to be trying.
Long, 8 right. 200.
Beautiful. Dale Mosket beside him. Mosket, of course, has had experience at WRC level and worked with Cody Crocker at one point in the factory Subaru team.
First split time. Oh, no. He's hit it as well.
He's hit both of them, I think. The one on the outside of the chicane. But he's up. That's the crucial thing. It went green as he came through, but in trying to arrest all that speed, how much time did he lose after the chicane?
Medium, 8 right, over brow, into crest, 30, 10 left, 80, 10 left, in on crest, into 10 right, 8 left, over brow, 200, 10 right on crest, 50, flat right on crest, 100.
He drops time. He drops time at the Kumo split. And you can tell the way that he's almost biting his lip. Look at the speed, though. Great speed at the radar.
There's the jump. Oh, he's out wide and pulls it back. It's not going to do it.
Pettis he's had a real dip here. He's had a real go at it, but he's disappointed at himself for what happened at the chicane.
Big charge.
Sorry, mate. That's all right. No stress. We had a go.
That was all it took. He knows it.
Probably third, I'd say.
He's a hard man to beat, isn't he?
Yeah, that's an impressive time. When I saw it come through at the start, I thought, well, I'm going to have to get everything right here. And yeah, we're having a problem with some pinching brakes going into the chicane, and it happened again. I just couldn't pull it up for the chicane and got the wrong line through there. And then, as I said, stuffed the last corner up. Just came in way super too hot, trying to make up for the time lost. So, you know, from the chicane onwards, we were never going to do that time.
Let's have a look at it here on the replay.
Well, the two Renaults, in fact, both hit those chicane.
Hits the one on the outside at the exit. As you heard Scott say, he then endeavoured to recover that time. This is where he said he was too hot into that final turn.
It's 5 championship points, so it's massive. So, you know, I believe Scott finished third, so that's 1 point, and we got 5. So we pull another 4 ahead and just make that a little bit harder for him to catch us for the rest of the year.
Eli's teammate Mark Pettis swaps hats, handing over the winner's check on behalf of Pettis Suspension. Evans and Weston are off to a flying start in round 5 of the East Coast Bull Bars Australian Rally Championship. Coming up next, highlights of the 4-wheel drive National Series and those sensational classics. But before that, a rally tip for the road from Cody Crocker.
How good is it here on the New South Wales coast, just off Coffs Harbour on the beautiful beaches? What a great place to have a bit of fun before the rally. And it's a good place also to show you a demonstration of the importance of keeping good, safe distances when you're driving on the road. Now, I've just stopped from the braking marker just behind me at 40 kilometres an hour, and you can see that it took a few car lengths to stop the vehicle. This time we'll go a bit faster and we'll see what happens. Well, as you can see there, I've just doubled my speed to 80 kilometres an hour, and you can see the significant difference in the braking time and distance it took to stop. So the fact is, as I double my speed, I actually quadruple the distance that it takes to stop. So that's a really important thing to note when you're driving at, say, 100 and 110 kilometres an hour on the freeway.
The sun rose on the Coffs Coast at round 5 of the East Coast Bull Bars Australian Rally Championship. The New South Wales Mid-North Coast came alive this round for the WRC at Coates Hire Rally Australia, and it attracted the largest field of cars so far to contest the 4-wheel drive National Series. It began under lights at the Super Special stage, a short 1.6k sprint around Brailsford Park, with a dash along Park Street in the CBD. Series leader Michael Harding wasn't expected here after his big crash last round, but a new car that came with the old owner, Steve Glennie, had TechWorks back in the hunt.
He kind of came as a bit of a package with the shell, so this is Steve's old shell, so he's showing me how to drive it.
The heat came on from John Mitchell in the Australian Wharf and Bridge Evo 7. Mitchell winning both opening sprint stages from Richie Dalton's Shamrock Motorsport entry. Harding was 4th behind Greg Latham in the Brakes Direct Mitsubishi. In the light of the next day, Harding grabbed the first 8-kilometre stage, Tucker's Knob, by 2 seconds, the car and co-driver providing what was needed to hold the series lead. The MRT SUV of Brett Middleton surged through the repeat of Tucker's, Middleton holding midfield. His biggest concern is Kumho's on the long rough stages.
We're chewing through tyres a lot quicker because, you know, the car weighs a lot, and we've still got a long way to go, but we're just maybe a little bit too careful, so I pushed a little bit hard on that stage, but, you know, there's still a long way to go.
Latham and Long snatched back the stage win through the repeat of Tucker's, and with it, the lead from John Mitchell. But it was short-lived. The Brakes Direct entry crashing out very next stage in spectacular fashion.
25 right.
Oh. With that, John Mitchell and Joe Cadman assumed the lead.
2 right plus narrow here, 35 right, continues up 150.
Richie Dalton and John Allen were 3 off the lead pace through the Bellingen stage, but maintained 3rd outright after a hard charge from Michael Harding saw him sweep into 2nd outright.
Then caution right 5 becomes a 4, into a left 3.
50, be a right 4 maybe. Into a left 5 over crest, very long. Into a right 5.
Middleton and Andrew Benefield had their best finish against the higher horsepower petrol turbos through SS7, 5th fastest in the 15-strong field. The 50 kilometres of Nambucca started leg 2, and there was concern about tyre wear, especially in the rough middle section.
It's uphill, kind of like a mountain goat track, but I think there's about 7 or 8 k's of bitumen, which is really going to hurt the tyres, so it's all about just conserving them, and hopefully they'll have enough on them to do the 16k stage after it, and we'll see what happens.
After the first 50k stage today, I think that'll then decide then how fast and how hard you got to try.
Dalton sent the message to Mitchell, taking the stage by 15, and with it, the outright lead.
Medium right 3 on bridge. Left right 3 over brow. Left right 3 over bridge.
John Mitchell was lucky to escape after a spin through the finish line.
Right 3 over bridge. Oh! That was lucky.
Like a few of the entries in four-wheel drive, Peter Roberts dusted the cobwebs off his Evo 6 to join in the fun at Coffs Harbour. He and Ray Baker were rewarded with 3rd fastest across the longest stage of the rally. They won Valour by 0.4 from Mitchell, but Dalton slipped a second outright, while Middleton had a moment through SS12.
Into a turn right 3 uphill. Oh, up there, too early.
It was no laughing matter, though, for John Mitchell, who, as he predicted, blasted his opposition to oblivion through the repeat of Nambucca, clearing out by nearly a full minute to provide an unassailable event lead.
Flat crest 40. Fast right 3.5, 100.
Tight left 3.
3, yeah. Flat crest 40. Fast right 3.5, 100. Medium right 3. Left 3.5, 150. Left 3.5, 150.
A failed wheel bearing halted Michael Harding's domination of the four-wheel drive National Series. The long competitive kilometres between service taking their toll. Michael Bailey had been second equal coming into this round. Never the fastest on the road, the BP Ultimate entry was again consistent and without incident maintained 4th outright. Gerald Schofield was top 5 through SS14, the Fibertech Medical Evo 9, 5th outright at the end of the second day of competition. Harding and Glennie were back for leg 3, but it was Peter Roberts who took it up to Mitchell through Bucca, just a second off his pace after 10 kilometres. The Cullens were 4th through SS20 and SS21, Wedding Bells lifting their outright position to 5th for the rally.
Tightens to 3 plus, tightens 3 plus around the corner, gets ready to tightens.
Yeah, have it, Johnny.
50, 4 left plus, into 5 right. 5 right, the late 3 left. Late 3 left coming up, so 3, 3, and late. In on this one, in. It's late in. And 3
Shamrock Motorsport entered the final stage with a 7-second advantage over Peter Roberts.
Short 4 left plus down the bottom.
Oh,
You've got to give it all. What do you got?
something's gone, something's gone.
All right.
Good.
No, just cruise 4 left plus narrow. Okay, we're almost home. We're going to be 3rd, okay?
And that's the way they finished. John Mitchell from Peter Roberts by over 2 minutes, with Richie Dalton in 3rd. And that means that John Mitchell can't be beaten in the best 3 of any 4 events to take out the inaugural East Coast Bull Bars National 4-Wheel Drive Series for 2013. Will Richie Dalton be able to hold on for 2nd? We'll have to wait for the final round. Up next, the biggest field of classic cars ever assembled for an ARC event. And with them, 4 invitational cars from a bygone era. The incredible International Group B. The Metro 6R4, Ford's RS200, a Lancia Rally 037, and the car that began the entire 4-wheel drive era, the Audi Quattro S1. While not all these cars were driven in anger over the gravel roads, Dave Thompson's Quattro was put through its paces for the absolute pleasure of the crowds. many who come just to see this Group B legend in action. You're watching Coates Hire Rally Australia here on the Coffs Coast. The domination by Polaris in the Australian Side-by-Side Challenge looked set to change last round when we finally got to see a glimpse of what Can-Am's new Maverick was capable of. But for a couple of teething mechanical issues, it had the pace to match the Polaris Razor, and both factory drivers arrived ready to do battle. First blood, though, went to Ian Hughes from Tamworth in the ARB Polaris, the super special stage around Brailsford Park to his liking. Half a second quicker than Cody Crocker and Michael Guest. It was a different story on the roads around Bellingen to the west of Coffs Harbour. Crocker was quicker by 7 across the 10Ks, but Hughes was still leading Michael Guest by 10 seconds.
Medium right, half long.
All was not well in the Can-Am camp.
We're going to punch it. Really? Yep.
A suspected puncture turned out to be a dislodged circlip in the drive shaft, and it was a simple matter of refitting before the next stage. It did the trick. The Can-Am was on top by nearly 7 seconds after 24 kilometres. Crocker and Hughes trailing the Maverick that was rapidly closing in on the rally lead.
I think it's a drive shaft. Well, you got to get off the stage. What do you reckon?
The other Maverick suffered similar issues. Nathan shivers over and out when a drive shaft comes out at full travel over the rough terrain.
Okay, jump out.
Newcomers to side-by-side racing, Chris Roche and Brendan Clark, were slightly off the frenetic pace that was being set up front. The leg win went to Polaris, with Michael Guest unable to find the 10 seconds required to peg back the gap. Leg 2 saw the longest stage of the event, 50 kilometres across the Shire roads of Nambucca. Cody Crocker excited about racing on the same stages as the WRC.
Yeah, I think we're first to take the Razor to the World Championship, so that's pretty cool. So, and the stages have been pretty awesome. They're quite rough in places, which suits us fine. I think all the rally guys are actually complaining that they're a bit rough, but we're loving it.
If he loved it, then Guest loved it even more. After 50 Ks, the Can-Am had secured an 11-second advantage.
Last 50K, that's the toughest. So I think we might have got Cody by 12 seconds. That's probably the toughest 12 seconds that I've had to fight for a while. So it's good, and that's what rallying's all about. It's about having that cutthroat battle, and we've got that on at the moment. Got another 14K stage to do now, so I'll have to keep on it there. And if we can go back to the super specials tonight with a bit of a lead of 10 or so seconds, then we're looking okay. But hey, anything can happen yet, so we just got to keep the pressure on.
Nathan Shivers wasn't happy, nursing a damaged diff. He suffered a puncture in the Maverick, and it was game over for his rally. The pressure was on Polaris. Ian Hughes, third fastest, but he drops time to the Can-Am.
Yeah, the tyres on the back are pretty much gone, and I came into a corner a bit hot and spun it right round. So lucky it was in a safe spot, didn't do anything. So.
Rookie Brendan Clark was trailing the man who'd introduced him to side-by-sides, but was just having a ball.
Oh, absolutely, yes. Buzz, yeah. Can't get the smile off my face. First time out in the 50K run, first rally ever, so I'm happy with it.
Nothing separates the two marks next stage. 14 kilometres on Valour sees a win to Crocker by 0.2 of a second. So it was all tied up at the end of the second day, a leg apiece, with one to decide who would be on top at Coates Rally Australia. Leg 3 was all red, Crocker taking the 11-kilometre Bucker stage by 2 seconds from Michael Guest.
So jump into 6 laps. 40. Slow crest into 4 left jump. Into 4 right jump.
Into 4 right, in the mid. 70. 6 left clip. 70. Jump slow, 45 left.
Ian Hughes was less than a second a K behind, and his protege another 30 behind him. Brendan Clark was settling in well in his first time out in the Razor in front of Queensland's Chris Roche and Adam Green. A unique aspect of the side-by-sides is the two guys running the factory machines, always making themselves available to help the new guys. And former offshore powerboat racer Chris Roche benefits from such advice as he accustoms himself to steering on land rather than sea. Wedding Bells was rough. Game on as Michael Guest pushed the Maverick and hauled in the Polaris Razor. The rest of the competition was left in their dust. The decider would come down to the final stage, Shipmans. After 3 days of competition on all kinds of road surfaces, Polaris led Can-Am to the last stage by a mere 0.7 of a second. Guest needed just 1 second to win the third and final leg and claim the rally victory. Crocker covered the 29 kilometres in 18 minutes and 6 seconds.
Into 6 right. Oh, go. 5 right, into 6 right, to 5 left long.
Guest completed the stage in 17 minutes, 49 seconds, with a margin of 17 and the leg win by 16 seconds. Polaris Razor 1, Can-Am Maverick 2. The rally win going to Can-Am, with the fight set to resume in the final round of the Australian Side-by-Side Challenge. While the Group B cars stole some of the show, there was no shortage of action in the Classics. A handful of invitational cars in the mix meant the Classic field matched the outright ARC field 1-for-1. An outstanding turnout that proved rallying is well and truly alive in this country. Neil Bates dominated around the Super Special stage. The eyes might have been on Tomo and his Audi, but the time cards were firmly locked on the Toyota Celica that took top spot in Classic.
Brow, 50, 5 left long. Slow exit, then 4 plus right long. Slow exit, then 4 plus right long. Flat exit, 80. 2 left. Is it 2 left, mate?
Yep.
Then 3 right.
2011 ARC runner-up Ryan Smart was on his tail in the special stages and was the best of the 24-strong field trying to chase down the Celica.
All these competitors are building really nice classic cars at the moment, so it seems to be quite popular. So I don't know, the old Dado might be worth more than what I think it is. So, but yeah, it's a good field. I think it's going to go a long way with the classics.
Mal Keogh was another Datsun driver in the hunt in his 1600 until he was forced to retire early on the second day. The V8 Roar signalled the return of Keith Callanan's Holden Monaro, a giant killer with the crowd, but not the leaderboard. His BDG Escort was now in the hands of a VIP driver and a rookie to gravel. Acknowledged as a master on tarmac, gravel had been his nemesis since an earlier exploit in the Silver Fern Rally had been less than successful. By day 2, though, Tony Quinn's dry humour was rivalling the conditions. He was starting to feel at home.
I'm amazed that the cars seem to go between the trees. You know, like there's no science in it. It's almost magnetism or something. They go between the trees, and I don't know. You wiggle the steering wheel and through they go.
One wonders what the L plate on the Escort really stands for. Quinn brought his new ride home in 5th position, including the non-compliant Classic Invitationals. The best of those was Michael Conway in a fuel-injected 6-speed sequential Ford Escort.
We had a strategy to run against Neil, so we can, over the entire event, see how we go.
And go he did. He and Jenny Cole second fastest in the field over the 3 days of competition. While they didn't stand on the podium in pure classic terms, they did on the timesheet.
Then, flat crest 50, flat small crest, into caution, left 5.5 on crest, right 5.5, into caution, long right 5.5 on crest, tightens a little.
Neil Bates and Coral Taylor dominated for all but one stage where Ryan Smart was numero uno. John Spencer joined the top 3 finishers. His RS240 Nissan won the New Zealand Rally Championship in 1984 and the Classic Championship 20 years later.
I'm looking forward to the fast roads today. I think that's where these 240 RSs come into their own. So hoping we can step it up a little bit. I think Neil and Smarty have got away from us a bit.
His driving style showed off what the best rear-wheel drive cars have to offer. He did make the podium, but the gold was the Classic Spirit Award for impressing the crowd and camera, thanks to Trenching Systems Australia. Amongst a throng of special cars taking part was the Subway Datsun 1200 Coupe. For Mark Beard and Jim Gleeson, who have presented for every round of the Classic Challenge in 2013, this was extra special, their hometown event. That wraps up the first part of our coverage from Coates Hire Rally Australia in Coffs Harbour. Stay tuned for all the action from the Outright Championship in our program coming up same time next week. Just check your local guides for details. On behalf of the team, it's bye for now.